Hello, good evening, happy Monday. It's November 4th, and we had to set those stupid clocks back. It's getting dark too early. I don't like it. How did we end up here so fast? Anyway, thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Jackie Baker. This is your live weekly dose of real estate reality, where we talk about all things real estate, the housing market, all that fun stuff. I appreciate you all being here tonight. It's more the same. I feel like I'm talking about the same stuff every week, but it's real estate. It's like this stuff has not really changed much, but we still need to discuss it. And I'm also here to answer any of your questions. So you see the comment, the little banner there. If you have a question, please type the word question at the beginning of your question so my wonderful producer can spot it easily and she can put it up on the screen. So let's get into it. I do have a guest. She will be joining us. Hopefully, she will be joining us a little late. But let's get into this. I want to share the article, what we're talking about tonight. And it's all about even though interest rates are rising, that election is looming. Thank God that's happening tomorrow, but we're not going to discuss that. The housing market's still, buyers are they're still out there. They don't care. So it says here, this is from Redfin, my favorite. Housing market stays surprisingly active as election looms and mortgage rates hit 7%. Even with the impending presidential election and mortgage rates surpassing 7% for the first time since July, pending home sales posted their biggest increase in 3 years. But Redfin agents report some would-be home buyers are pressing pause on starting their house until the election passes. Mortgage rates rose to 7% for the first time since early July this week, erasing their late summer decline into the low 6% range. Rising rates combined with economic uncertainty and anxiety brought on by the impending presidential election are causing some prospective home buyers and sellers to press pause, but the effect is smaller than expected. On the buying side, pending U.S. home sales rose 4.5% year over year during 4 weeks ending October 27th, the biggest increase in more than 3 years. On the selling side, new listings of homes for sale rose 3.4%, in line with the increases we've seen over the last several months. But those numbers don't tell the whole story. First, they measure a 4-week period ending just before mortgage rates hit 7%. So some people may see 7% as the threshold beyond which they won't buy or sell. Second, we're comparing to a period in October 2023 when weekly average mortgage rates hit a 2-decade high of 7.79%, dramatically slowing housing market activity. And finally, there are signs that house hunters are backing off at earlier stages of the home buying journey. Mortgage purchase applications are down 8% from a month ago. And Redfin agents report that many buyers and sellers are sitting on the sidelines until after the election, aligning with a recent Redfin survey, finding that nearly 1/4 of prospective first-time buyers are holding off until post-election. Even with those caveats, pending home sales and listings are holding up surprisingly well. Rising mortgage rates combined with stubbornly high home prices have brought the typical U.S. home buyer's monthly mortgage payment to $2,593, near its highest level since July, and cut into buyers' purchasing power. Redfin economic research lead Chen Zhao said she would expect a bigger drop-off in home buying and selling activity with the jump in mortgage rates, especially given that the country is a week away from a highly consequential and uncertain presidential election. While it's not unusual for mortgage rates to rise heading into an election as investors' expectations change, mortgage rates surging to 7% after the Fed's interest rate cut is surprising, as is the fact that pending sales have remained resilient. There was a possibility that mortgage rates would rise after the September rate cut, but we didn't expect them to rise this much. There was a window of 6% mortgage rates early this fall, but that window was shorter than expected. It's possible 7% rates will also have a short window. Rates could decline depending on the outcome of the election if the worries driving bond market investors to demand higher rates dissipate. Redfin agents say some house hunters and would-be sellers are taking a breather in the lead up to the election. The last week or so has been quieter than usual because we're getting so close to the election and people are wary about making a huge purchase just before a major event. New buyers aren't jumping into the house hunt this week, and sellers probably aren't going to choose the Friday before a presidential election to list their home. But buyers and sellers who are already under contract are moving forward, and I expect activity to pick up again in a few weeks. Buyers are more cautious. They know they have time to wait on the sidelines because listings are sitting on the market longer than usual. The election is playing a larger role in the slowdown than I've seen in the past. I think it's partly because of the overwhelming stress of this election, and partly because the country feels more divided than ever before, and nobody knows what impact the election will have on the economy or interest rates. That was a long one. Thanks for bearing with me there. So, yeah, so the activity is still there. So I agree with that. I definitely have seen it here in New Jersey. You know, people are still out there buying houses. There is a slowdown for sure in the past couple of weeks, and we kind of predicted that. Some experts, especially here in the Northeast, were saying, "Oh, the election's not going to have an impact on the market," but it has. It's slowed down. I mean, it's not like a screeching halt, but it's definitely slowed down. You heard me say this in the past couple of weeks. I think come January, things are going to really get back to a booming housing market again. I just think people are going to be out there, you know, and we're going to be past the election. And I think no matter who's in office, it's still going to blow up. That's my feeling about the matter. So let me take a look at some of the comments here. We have Roy. Roy's back. Hi. Thanks for being here, Roy. Sidewinder, you haven't been here in a while. How are you? Glad you're here. Kate, house went on the market Friday. 6 showings in 3 days, 2 more tomorrow. One set far on Wednesday. Fingers crossed, one will result in a list priced offer. I am praying for you, Kate. Oh my gosh, I hope it goes. I hope it goes like that. You're gonna get. I hope you get above list. So thanks for the update, Zolita. Thanks for being here. Oh, from Cincinnati. Awesome. Hi, Diego. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And there's our buddy Clark. Hello, my friend. I hope your day and night is going well too. Thanks for being here. So yeah, listen, this is Living Our Lives. You're back again. You made it on time. Yay. Thanks for being here. So look, I don't want to get into the whole discussion about the election. I don't want to get into the politics. But what I will say is, and I'm sure everybody feels the same way, this has just been so stressful for everybody, and it's just, we don't know what's going to happen, and I get it. Like it's just very uncertain. As my friend Christina says, she wishes we can go back to precedented times and not we're always in unprecedented times. She's like, I long for precedented times because I feel like we've been in this freaking election for like forever. So after tomorrow, I just want to, we're going to take a breather and we're just going to move on and go back to living our lives. Rockin' Bells, hi from Big Sky Country. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So anyway, so getting back to that. So the bottom line is the Redfin article is saying that, yeah, the sales have ticked up. There is some slowdown in some part, you know, for the early home buyers, like people are just thinking about getting into it right now. They're holding out right now. They're waiting, and they can jump into the market probably in the next couple of weeks. Yes, go back to living our lives. That's you guys. I want to live your lives. I want to be you're in the Philippines, right? I want to be where you guys are. So I'm sure it's a lot warmer. It's gotten cold here already here in the Northeast. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. It's like, winter's coming. And it's very dry too. We're having major drought here. New Jersey's under, we have fire restrictions. Like you can't have a fire pit or, you know, campfires and all that. Like you can't do that here in New Jersey because we've had some brush fires go on here in the state and out in Pennsylvania too. It's been pretty bad. Electra checking in from Easton, PA. Look forward to your channel and live streams. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Fire restrictions up there. Yeah, we do. I swear this fall, I've never seen anything like it. We have not had rain. I can't remember the last time we had a good soaking rain. It's been weeks. It's been a really long time. So yeah, just 2 weeks ago, it was last weekend, not far from where I live, up on one of the mountains. There was a brush fire. Thank God that got under control pretty quickly. But then further south from where I am in Jersey, there was a pretty big brush fire going on. And yeah, it's burning up a lot of the forest. Not good. Um, Sidewinder, I guess the recession is no longer an issue now. Yeah, I don't know. What they're still saying, we're waiting for the recession to happen. I don't know whatever happened with that. Dan, hey, how are you? Not a lot of homes here in rural Arkansas that will pass an RD inspection. Still haven't found anything. Hang in there, Dan. It'll happen. It'll happen. You know what? It just takes time. Listen, the people I just closed their purchase. What do we now? It was like 3 weeks ago. They were in the market for 2 years, and they finally landed their house. So it'll happen. Just have faith, have patience. Lecture for us August 28th. Okay, cool. All right. So this is what's going on, guys. So when I said, I've been saying this, that the election is going to, it was going to slow down. It has a little bit, but according to Redfin, their activity is, yeah, they're saying the home buying activity is still up there. Let me just see something. Dan, okay. These realtors in Arkansas, including ones from Zillow, are awful, not helpful at all. I'm sorry, Dan. Dan, do me a favor, reach out to me. Click the link in the description and reach out to me. If you want me to connect you with somebody, I'm happy to do that. Rob Roberts, weeks first rains in months and months here in DFW today. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, I guess it's all over. Yep. All right. I also wanted to share with you guys, where do we go? I'm going to be talking about this in the video I have coming up this week. It's about the housing market predictions for the rest of 2024. So honestly, you know what I'm going to say. You know what this is going to say. It's more of the same. So the key takeaways on this is from Bankrate. Low levels of inventory mean the sellers continue to have the upper hand in the housing market. Mortgage rates have come down from their peak, but are still high. And steep home prices are dissuading would-be buyers. If rates were to drop further, that would spur the market for both buyers and sellers. Excuse me. So it goes here, what will happen to the housing market for the end of 2024? Rates roughly doubled back in 2022, thanks in part to the Federal Reserve's war on inflation, and they have stayed high since. While the Fed does not directly set mortgage rates, mortgage lenders take cues from them, and mortgage rates climbed in tandem with the Fed's long string of rate hikes. The Fed has finally started a cycle of much anticipated rate cuts, and one more is likely coming before the year is out. But with home prices still reaching record heights and demand for homes outpacing housing supply, it seems home buyers will still be feeling the squeeze to the rest of the year. So here's some key market stats. The median home sale price as of September was $404,500, the highest September median NAR has ever recorded, and only about 20,000 short of the all-time high. The nation had a 4.3 month supply of housing inventory as of September per NAR, which is a big improvement over a year ago, but still low enough to be considered a seller's market. Home price growth increased in August 2024 by 4.2%, according to S&P CoreLogic's latest Case-Shiller index. This marks the index's 15th consecutive all-time high. Bankrate's latest national survey of large lenders shows the average rate on a 30-year mortgage was 6.88% as of October 30th. The U.S. inflation rate as of September was 2.4%, getting closer to the Fed's stated goal of 2%, but not quite there yet. Now, they also go on to talk about the realtor commission changes. It says here, one thing to keep an eye on. Thanks to the settlement of a major federal lawsuit, the way real estate commissions work in the U.S. changed in August. Longstanding structure had been for home sellers to pay both their own agent's commission and the buyers, but now buyers may have to cover their own agent's commission. How might this affect home prices and affordability remains to be seen. The new rules mean buyers will have to will have a say in how much they pay buy-side agents. Will commissions fall? Will buyers decide to do it themselves without using buyer's agents? It could be years before we know the answers. And I totally agree with this. And we were all in a panic when this all came to fruition back in August. And I would tell you, we are now almost 3 months into this. It hasn't changed much. It really hasn't. Sellers are still offering some type of buyer agent compensation. They just are. So, DPR Global, realtors can't get deals done. They all got spoiled by cash offers. No, we can get deals done, but thanks for your comment. We could totally get our deals done. It's picking up greatly in the Toledo area. Many of the homes I've been watching are under contract now, 300,000 plus properties. Yeah, it is. You will see it pick up. And I think come next year in 2025, it's going to pick up even more. Yes, please. So many dishonest ones are not helpful. We are looking within a 2-hour radius of Conway, Arkansas. Okay, so Dan, totally hear you. Fill out that form, and I will find somebody that will help you. That's not going to mess around with you. Hey, Lester, how high do you think interest rates will rise? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I go by what the analysts and the experts predict, and they're all saying, yeah, they're going to stay in the 6 range until like this time next year. We could probably see them drop into the 5s. So I think from here on out, I think we're going to start seeing the interest rates come down. Not by a lot. It's not going to go back down to pre-pandemic where we had 4%, 3% interest rates. Not going to happen. I think we're going to get down into the 5s. That's my feeling. I made an offer in a house in Jersey. The seller countered by saying they want McCain's too. Yeah. Yes, they do. They do. They want Jersey is just. I have another article I'm going to share with you guys. It's pretty freaking funny about New Jersey. I'll share that with you in a minute. Hi, Kay. How you doing? My mom just sold a piece of land in a town of Florida in less than a week, full price offer. Yeah, I wonder what part of Florida, because certain parts it's not doing so well. So that's a good sign. That's good to hear. Yes, and sellers won't fix anything. Yeah. I heard DOJ said buyers have to pay their own realtor. Only if the seller is not paying the buyer's agent compensation. That's the only time a buyer's agent's going to have to pay, is when the seller is offering zero out to the buyer agent. Stephanie, looking to move to Bergen County. Which month or week does the spring selling season really start? You know when it starts? Right after the Super Bowl Sunday in February. That is the unofficial start to the spring housing market selling season. So, and you know what I would do? I would start even sooner, because you'll have less competition if it's before the spring. So if you see a house come on the market, you like it, there'll be less buyers looking at it at that point. So my little tidbit there. The YouTuber Orlando Miner said that today or yesterday. Okay, cool. I like Orlando. Orlando's a good guy. Yes, Kay, getting back into the 5s will make a huge difference, because I think that would be enough to motivate sellers to list their homes. Like those who are sitting on the super low interest rates. Like I had Karen Gardner on last week. Karen refinanced. She's down in Maryland. She refinanced her mortgage, and she's like it's like over 2%, 2.5%. And she's like, where am I going? Why would I give that up to pay like the 6% right now? So I think the 5s will help. Amy, how are you? Thanks for being here. Currently under attorney review in New Jersey after looking at least 50 houses. Now I'm having second thoughts because I'm not too happy with the area in North Plainfield. Do you think I should go through? I can't tell you that. You've got to really listen. If you're questioning it, go drive around the neighborhood where the house is, drive around through the town, go at different times of the day, get a feel for that neighborhood and see how you see if it's a good fit for you. North Plainfield's it's not bad. It's not a bad area, but you have to be comfortable with it. So I would go check it. I would visit it in different times of the day to see just to see what the vibes are like. And if it's vibing with you, then it's a good place for you. Hello, Bob Karen. Thanks for being here. He said Bob's a loyal fan. I love it. Jen, I think we already did that one. How high do you think interest rates will rise? Let me see. Won't hold you to it. Okay. Thank you, Lester. Appreciate that. The next one. Kevin, thanks for being here, Kevin. Would you suggest putting a house on the market in January, February, or March if there is no rush? Well, there's different thoughts to this. Everyone waits until the spring to put their house on the market, and which is, that's probably the best time because you're going to have a lot of activity. But what you will also have is what we like to call in the real estate world tire kickers, meaning that you're not going to have serious buyers checking out your house. And it happens all the time. But once the weather gets nice, they want to go out and they see an open house. Well, let's just stop in and see what the house is, see what it looks like inside. You're going to get a lot of that. But listen, in this market right now, we have a lot of pent up demand. I think if you list it, no matter what month you put it in, January, February, March, whenever you list it, you're going to get activity. You are. So, hello, Mawa Azet. Haven't seen you in a while. I was told that investors are buying up properties in North Carolina, Florida, and other hurricane-stricken states. Very sad how people have no option but to sell properties deemed by the government not recoverable. Yes, you're not wrong there. I'm hearing that as well. And they're corporate investors. They're scapping up these homes. So they're going to rehab them, probably not sell them. They're probably going to rent them. That's what a lot of them do. Yes, it is. It's very shady. And that's something that's one thing I pray for is that something is done with these corporate investors, some type of regulation, something's done to them to prevent them from constantly doing this and buying these homes and like the affordable homes and turning around and making them rentals. I mean, it's happening way too much. Rob Roberts, thanks for being here, Rob. Question. Since the 90s in DFW, every home development has HOAs. There are no community things like pools, parks, etc. Where does that money go? Well, if there's no pools, they're probably using the funds to like maintain the landscaping, maintaining the roads. I'm not sure how it works in Texas with HOAs. Like here in New Jersey, if you're part of an HOA, the HOA is responsible for the exterior of the homes, or if it's a townhome, they're responsible for roof replacement for the deck. Not sure how that works down in Texas, but that's pretty much what the money is going to. Yeah, and they also put rules in place to keep people, making sure everybody keeps their property looking nice and pristine and pretty and all that. So, what else here? Oh, yeah, Bob, I see that. Jen, do you see that? 34 days in a row, no rain in South Jersey. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, Carla, thanks for being here. Interviewed a listing agent last week. One of her strong suggestions was to convert our home, Lehigh Valley, just north of Allentown, from oil to gas. Do we really have to? You don't have to. You don't have to do anything if you're a seller. You don't have to do anything. Like here's the thing. If your oil tank is underground, that could be an issue. I'm not sure if your oil tank's in the house or if it's on outside the house above ground. To let the next person do it. Why spend all that money to convert it to gas? If it's underground now, buyers do get freaked out by the underground oil tanks, and that may become an issue. So if it's underground, that's probably why they're bringing that up. Hello, Clark. I've been going back and forth with this listing agent investor of a property I put an offer on for my buyer. He thinks his house is worth more than what we offered, but the closed comps don't support. Still having this problem, aren't we? These sellers are still thinking their houses are worth way more than they are. And yeah, oh my gosh, living our lives. For us, we refuse to even consider an oil fueled house. So many issues with those containers of ground contamination. Yes, Yeah, Carla, that's the problem. Example, perfect example. My deal I closed in mid-October. It was a decommissioned oil tank underground. So it was properly disposed. All the oil was taken out. It was filled with sand. They had permits filed, everything, it passed environmental standards, all the stuff, but it was decommissioned a number of years ago. And nowadays, the lawyers up here, they want those tanks taken out because there's still that risk of any oil getting into the ground. And you get oil contamination in the soil, forget about it. You're talking tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, depending on how bad that leak is. Um, so yeah, it's oil tanks are a problem. Um, Sorry, I missed your response before I rewinded her. Oh, no problem, Lester. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you asking. Fred, hey, how are you? Wanted to sell my last house in the spring. My realtor suggested to list in the winter due to lower inventory. I did, and house sold first week in January after going on the market after Thanksgiving. You see? So I'm telling you, buyers are still out. The serious buyers they're out, not just in the spring. It's If you're going to list your house in January, serious buyers are going to make an offer and they're not going to mess around. So they're not going to be tire kickers. Clark, prices in some areas are softening, but some homeowners are still trying to get top dollar, not realizing which way the market is going in their area. And you know what drives me nuts, Clark? And we've talked about this. The listing agents need to do a better job. And I don't mean to throw shade at other real estate agents, but we got to do better. We have to do a lot. They have to do better as far as getting the right price, getting the right comps to the seller. And if the seller's not agreeing and they're saying, I'm going to still list it 100,000 over, you're wasting time. You're wasting the time of that seller. They're not going to get that price. And you know what? I get it. We all need business right now, right? Business it's been tough, but don't list the house. If the seller is adamant about they want to price it 100,000 over, whatever, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Sorry. Um, Lady D, yes, I also pray that new law is implemented. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about the corporate investors, those lovely people. Yeah, me too. So, um, Hannah, North Plainfield is too far from the parkway and trains. Yep. Yeah, if you're working in the city, that could be a problem. Your tank is in the basement, not outside. Okay. Yeah, Carla, don't feel pressed to convert. Don't let the new person do it. But I would price your house accordingly. You know what that's going to cost to convert it to gas. So anyway, Lester, have you ever negotiated a deal with a relocation company? Do they ever budge on the price? Found a home in New Jersey, but a little overpriced, and it's been on the market for months. Um, yeah, I did years ago. Yeah, years ago we did that. I had somebody I represented a buyer. We didn't get it because they didn't like our offer. You're right. They do get because they own the house, so they're a little tough to deal with. Um, Kay says I am having new exterior doors installed this week. HOA approved. I'm so happy to get this finished. And you know what's so funny? I find being a homeowner for all these years, like things like new windows, a new door, like just makes me so happy. Just who would have thought, like something stupid like a new door and it would just look so nice. And it's like, oh, yeah, I got a new door in my house. So good for you, Kay. Email to fill out the form too. Thank you, Dan. I will be in touch with you. I appreciate it. That's what we did regarding oil tank when selling my parents' house. Oh, did you get rid of it? Yeah, you really need to remove the oil tank to sell the house. Yeah. But here's the thing. If you need to sell it quick, my whole thing is just get it, let the next guy deal with it. I'm sorry, but just make sure you price the house accordingly. Um, Clark, he went back and forth with me and told me to look at the tax assessed appraisal. I said, sir, you don't want to take that route because typically the tax assessed appraisal is lower than the lender's. Oh my God. And of course it was. And then he changed his tone. Oh, you know what we call that, Clark? Or what does our friend Jen Sylvester say? 80%, right? 80% of the agents are not so good. And then you have the 20% who are really good. That's an 80% agent right there that said that. Hey, Roy, some HOAs exist just because the roads in the development. The town doesn't plow or fill potholes in the development. That is true. Yes, thank you for that, Roy. Are you seeing a lot of people buying in your market still, or has it slowed a little for holidays? Nope, it's still cooking. It's still cooking. The listing I have right now, we got an offer on day 2, and we're under contract. We're closing the end of this month. I think we're closing on the 22nd. Yep. Things are still moving. Hasn't slowed down. What is worse, an abandoned oil tank or cat pee damaged floors and walls? Listen, speaking from experience, cat pee damaged floors are just they're awful. I had that in the first house we bought. The owners had and my producer is like my best friend, and she's behind the scenes right now. And she, as I'm talking about this, she'll remember this. Jen, do you remember that? Like my master bedroom reeked of cat pee, and it was a nightmare trying to get that out when we first moved into the house. We ripped the carpet up. Oh my God, it was disgusting. I forget what we ended up doing to get rid of it. Yeah, thanks, Jen. See, Jen knows. Jen helped me paint that damn house too. Yeah. Um, so yeah, cat pee is bad. But abandoned oil tanks, it's not horrible, but you want to take that out. Thanks so much. Market is still spicy, but slowing down. Good luck, Carla. Come back and let me know how you make out. Tommy, is it too expensive to buy a house in California? Why is it too expensive? Because California is just expensive, depending on where you're looking. So if you're like in the Los Angeles area, oh my God, the prices there, Orange County, oh, it's ridiculous. But I have a very good friend who used to live in Bakersfield, California. She just moved to South Carolina, but those home prices are pretty reasonable. It was like between 3 and 500,000. Yeah, I was shocked because the rest of the state seems to be like out of control. Lancaster and Santa Clarita. Yeah, I'm not sure, Tommy. None of your business. How are you? I'm a realtor in North Carolina and have never sold a home to an NC native. My buyers are coming from New York, New Jersey, Florida, and California. I am not surprised. And you're still going to keep getting the New Jersey people too. How did I get that out? Clark, I don't remember. I don't remember what we did. I don't know if we cut part of that floor. I don't know. My father, when he was alive, he was a contractor. He took care of it. I don't know what we did, but we ended up getting rid of it. Yeah. So I left him in charge of that. SoCal is so expensive. North of Sacramento is not. Thank you, Maddie B. So speaking of Jersey, I have to share this with you guys. My husband found this article the other day and he's like, "Oh, did you know this?" I'm like, "Yeah, tell me something we don't know." Because listen, I'm not trying to throw hate on Jersey, but check this out. And are we surprised? New Jersey's listed as one of the worst states to buy a home, and here's why. If you're planning on buying a home in the next 5 years, few experts suggest you stay away from New Jersey and 6 other states. New Jersey was one of the states mentioned because of the high property taxes, heavy traffic in North Jersey, and the fact that many corporations are leaving the state and taking the jobs with them. This real estate expert also mentioned New Jersey's high health insurance premiums. The state also got some of the highest health insurance premiums in the country, adding another layer of financial stress for residents. Besides New Jersey, experts also place Louisiana, West Virginia, New York, California, Illinois, and Florida on the blacklist. Now, we all know, I've been talking about this for a while, that Florida, no shade to Florida, but it's getting super expensive to live there because of the rising homeowners insurance. But yeah, here in Jersey, I think we're the number one or number two with the highest property taxes. And now here's the thing. Yeah, the health insurance is expensive, but as far as medical care, I think the medical care here in Jersey, it's probably one of the best because yeah, we do have good hospitals in Jersey, but you're close to New York City, and you also have Philadelphia. So Philadelphia has some excellent medical care too. So you get what you pay for. So oh, here she is. So my guest showed up, and I'm so happy. So here she is, all the way from Austin, Texas, Miss Angie Ufamoto.
Hey y'all!
Hey, how are you, honey?
Oh my
What's
God.
going on?
Listen, I came here to bring the fire, okay? Thank y'all for being patient. So here where I am in Austin, kids get 2 days off. So they get off today and they get off tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We have here in Jersey, we're off. It's for New Jersey Teachers Convention Week.
Oh.
So they're off starting, I think, Thursday and Friday. They have a half a day Wednesday, and then they're off Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That just feels a little wrench in the schedule.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have kids in school, but yeah. I don't have to worry about that. But we call it Jersey Week. So everybody goes on vacation. They go to Florida. They're like, oh, it's Jersey Week. Everybody goes away.
That.
Yeah, it's Jersey Week.
Well,
so, yeah. So how are you, my friend?
I'm doing really good. I'm happy to be here. Thank y'all for your patience. But yes, I'm doing pretty good.
Good. How's life down in Austin? Tell us about what's going on in the market down there.
All right. So as y'all may have known, we're in a market correction still. We've got about 4 or 5 months worth of inventory, which is pretty normal. And things are starting to balance out. I will say the city of Austin's home prices are staying over 500,000. I know, shocking. People thought it was going to be like in the pooper, but it's not. And then the surrounding areas, the median home price is around 400, 420, something like that. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable.
Still moving here.
Yeah. You're busy though. I mean, I feel like every time I talk to you, you're busy.
I am so busy, but I'm also grateful because I've got amazing people who call me from across the world, really, that are relocating to the Austin area. So I'm doing pretty good. Listings are a little bit slow though. I will tell you, days on market are long and torturous sometimes.
Yeah. Well, but listen, it sounds like listen, I feel good that you guys are having some type of correction, and I hope that continues. Like that spreads the rest of the country because we need it. We need it. Oh my God. Oh my God. So are you helping people from people from out of state, like all over the country coming to Austin?
Yeah, they're still coming here. They're coming here for a couple of reasons. As some of y'all might know, it's hot here. And people are coming.
No, really?
I still have clients relocating because of the weather. Like they're over winter, they're over ice. And so they're really hitting for that. Also, it's a great opportunity if you're in the tech industry to transfer. So I got a lot of transferees from major tech companies. So that's happening. And then some folks are calling just completely for a different lifestyle who are able to work from anywhere. So they're choosing Austin as a place of home. So yeah, really heavy on the relo side of my business for sure. I'd probably say maybe 80%. It's pretty high.
Really, really good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Good. At least you're busy.
I know.
That's really good.
Yeah. I'm excited about that part. Listen, I take it where I can get it.
I know. I hear you. I know. I'm the same way. So, but yeah, so we were just talking. So I had the article about how buyers are still out there, even though the interest rates are at 7% and high. They don't care. I mean, obviously you see it, like you're getting a lot of relo. Same here too. We're still seeing, the bidding wars, not as crazy, but we still have them up here. I still can't figure out why, but I mean, I just
low inventory.
But I just shared an article how they're saying New Jersey's listed as one of the worst states to buy a house. I'm like, well, nobody's listening to that because they're still buying it. So they're still paying $1 million for a house here in Jersey. What the heck? What the heck? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So David, let me just get this so we can see it. Okay. David B says, can can or should a buyer use an agent if the seller is listing it as for sale by owner? How does that work? I haven't seen many videos on this topic. So yes, you can use an agent, but you have to see if the owner, the for sale by owner is going to offer to pay your agent. Otherwise, if they're not, you're going to have to pay for your agent.
That's right.
But I would totally recommend getting an agent if it's worth your while, because going that alone, it's if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose a lot of money. You stand to lose a lot of money. You could be walking into a disaster of a house. So it's having that representation and have someone guide you. It's super, super important. So
For sure. I
yeah,
agree 1000%. And if you're like, okay, well, if not an agent, then who? At least get some sort of attorney if you plan on negotiating yourself, to be able to
yeah,
look at the contracts. But because Jackie's right, one is you don't know that house, that you don't have a history of that home that's at least public, or at least in the agent's knowledge, and they
mhm.
end up losing a ton of money just on a broken down limit. You don't want that.
That's right. That is right. Amy says, how soon after buying a home can you sell? You can sell whenever you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You could buy it and turn around next day and sell it. It does, yeah, there's no restrictions, no
Yeah.
time limits on it.
The only thing
So,
I would say is if you're thinking about investing, which I get calls about that all the time because I'm an investor as well, my husband and I, because I got those 3 little
mhm.
kids.
Yeah,
But if you're thinking about investing and you want to sell your home, say you're buying a new construction, those are a little bit more stricter, especially in my area where you have to hold the property for at least a year. So keep that in mind if you're planning on doing something like that.
cool. Thank you for that. Rockin' Bell says, speaking of HOAs, how do I ensure that if I buy land, I don't get dragged into a new at a later date? Do I write that into my contract? So you're saying if you buy land like in a community or like in a neighborhood, that they could convert to an HOA? I don't know. I don't know if you can write that
Mm,
into an individual contract. I don't think so.
No,
What do you think?
I
Right now, that doesn't make sense to do
no.
that. Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
unless the entire neighborhood agrees, if it's in the covenants and restrictions of that particular area, that there's a loophole to where they can add an HOA later. I'm sure you would need approval from all of the residents there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. Shay, New York City is so expensive and the properties are dilapidated unless it's over just over a million. I just want land at this point. I don't blame you. I
Makes
don't
sense.
blame you at all. It's totally makes sense. It's ridiculous. Um, Rob, I don't have any idea why YouTube algo suggested I watch a realtor from New Jersey, but it nailed it. Love what you're doing in your podcast. Interesting. Oh, thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. Yeah. See, Jersey's not so bad, right?
No, it's
what
not.
you, yeah,
Just
what you see,
awesome
what you
people.
get. Yeah, right. We're gonna tell you. We can tell you how it is. Sidewinder can't beat medical care in the Jersey, New York area. Yeah, you're right. So, like I said, I was saying before, Angie, this article was saying the reason why New Jersey is one of the worst states to buy is because our health insurance is very expensive here. But we have like awesome medical care here.
Yeah.
Like New Jersey, in New Jersey, New York City, and in Philly. So you
Wow.
have those 3 areas to get. I mean, you got options, really good options. So you're paying for it.
That's important.
Yes. All right. Clark says, David B, you should use a buyer's agent. Hold on a minute. Sorry. You should use a buyer's agent when buying from or for sale by owner. You want someone on your side advocating your best interest when purchasing a property, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clark.
Good, Clark.
It's
good.
Clark's always got the wisdom. I love it. He shares his little nuggets. Dan says, we fled Florida about 5 years ago due to high COL and terrible wages.
Mhm.
Yeah. Florida's getting that bad.
I hate that it's
Oh,
worse.
what? Well, thank you.
All right.
And so does Angie.
Yeah.
Angie looks awesome too.
Angie looks science.
Cooking with the Mad Scientist. Love your handle. All right. Looking to buy a house in April or May. Should I start applying for first-time home buyers programs before I find the house I want? Yes. Start looking into that. Find a lender that's familiar with that program. I'm not sure where you're looking, but the guy that I use a lot, he's done many of these. He's helped buyers with this, especially with the New Jersey first-time home buyer program. If you're in Jersey, I got a great guy. But otherwise, I speak to lenders in your area to see if anyone's familiar with the program where you're located.
Yeah.
Oh, Clark says, hey, Angie.
Hi, Clark.
Rob says Austin needs a traffic correction. Yeah,
Oh,
I heard
please.
about that. Your traffic is really bad down there, right?
Okay, now listen, if you're coming from, California and you're used to, I don't know what y'all call it, whatever route, whatever,
Mhm.
and you're in a short amount of traffic, 5 miles, 10 miles, going to take you 2 hours. It's not like that. But what I will tell you is that when you have a state that's 800 miles wide and 800 miles long, you should not be in traffic, in my opinion. There's too much space. But yeah, because of the growth and because Austin was this small little city, small town still, they refused at some point to make those plans for expansion. So we're seeing a lot of that happening now because they're reacting rather than having something in place. And so there's construction everywhere.
Yeah.
I pay toll roads. We have a ton of tolls. I take them. I just take my money so I can keep my sanity. Yeah.
Sounds like Jersey.
Oh,
that's how we are too. We have tolls out the ones too. So my husband commutes. We were just talking about this the other night. He commutes 40 miles one way to his job, and the amount of tolls, he spends $450 a month on his tolls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, thanks, Jersey.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Roy says, I'm leaving New Jersey as I get ready to retire. Unless you have family or grandkids keeping you here, it's just not worth it. Roy, you and everybody else. I mean, a lot of people they're jumping ship. And
Roy, where are you going?
I get it.
I want to know where you're going, Roy.
Yeah, where are you going, Roy? Tell us. Mala, I love my 4 seasons here in New Jersey, waiting for that rain to come through. Fires are still burning, although 85% contained. I know. So, Angie, we're having some we've been having a drought. We haven't had rain in like 30 something days up here.
What?
So there's like fires. Oh yeah. There's been it's bad, like forest fires up here now. Yeah. Yeah. Who'd have thought? But Mama, I love my 4 seasons too, which is why I won't go any further south than Delaware. Yeah. If I retire, I'm going to Delaware just because I need the fall. I need my leaves. I need my foliage. Rockin' Bells, I plan to buy some land and build. How do I avoid getting pulled into HOA if a neighborhood goes up later? Do I write that in the contract when I buy something? Oh, similar question he had before. Yeah, so it's going to be up to the neighborhood. If a neighborhood wants to pursue that, everybody in the neighborhood has to be in agreement.
Right.
So yeah, so you can't, when you're buying something, you can't put that in your own individual contract, because as more people move in, then everybody's going to have to put that in their contract, and they're not going to think to do that. But it just comes down to if everybody can vote to bring in an HOA.
Yeah. So. The other thing is make sure that whatever property you're looking at or your agent is looking at, dig a little bit more on the selling side and ask the seller, do they have those restrictions and covenants for the neighborhood? Mm-hmm. There may be something in there that's outlined describing HOAs or future potential HOAs, so you can get information prior to going under contract.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I missed the beginning. After the election, do you think that housing market will move? It's crazy. I think it's going to go back to a little bit of craziness. I think in January, it's gonna be gangbusters. I'm gearing up. Yeah. I think we're gonna I think all the buyers are gonna come out, and that's it. It's just, there's pent up demand. There's gonna be a lot of and I think we'll see more listings hit the market too.
The other part is that folks are getting used to, Dr. Lawrence Yen with the National Association of Realtors said that folks just need to get used to that 6%. And I think people are settling into it, which is why the article was probably mentioning that there's still buyers out in the market. By the way, I know I'm an agent, but seriously, if you want a good deal, and good deal means some sort of savings, the fall is a really good time because we're going into holiday season. People are distracted. They're not worried about it. So we're seeing buyers now, and I think we're going to see more and more, like Jackie mentioned, more listings. So there's going to be more buyers for the spring.
Definitely. Joseph. Hey, Joseph, thanks for being here. I'm retired in Portugal. I have a 2.9% mortgage for 18 years. I purchased a small pear farm for 260,000 euros. Salaries are low here, and it reflects in the market. Americans moving here and paying cash.
Wow.
That's it, Angie. Let's move to Portugal. That's it.
Living our dream.
Oh my gosh. Heck
That's
with Delaware.
great.
Let's go to Portugal.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you,
Good for
Joseph.
you.
Good for you. Oh man. Watch out. We're all gonna be moving to
I know,
Portugal.
right?
Oh my gosh. South of Tucson. Oh, Roy's going to South Arizona. Oh, good for you, Roy. South on Taco Tuesdays, we go to Mexico. I can go away and teach it.
I
Good
love
for
it.
you, Roy. Good for
Very
you.
good.
Kay says, I wish builders would build more 3 to 4 bedroom homes around me. They're building 5+ bedrooms or condos. Drives me crazy. Really?
Oh, what area?
Wow. Yeah. Kay, where are you again? I'm sorry. I can't keep up with all you guys. And I love that you're all here. I just can't keep up where you're all from. So yeah, Angie, it's I don't know. I think it's like the Redfin article that I read in the beginning, it was all about, the people not caring about the interest rates. And I just, if it's like this now, where
Mhm.
people are just, they're still in it and they don't care,
Yeah.
think what's going to happen when those rates start to come back down.
Yeah, because
And that's going to happen.
the truth is I
Yeah.
think folks forget that in certain situations, in certain households, a decision has to be made, right? They have to move. So there's always going to be
Yeah.
people moving and shifting and life changes are going to happen. But you are right. I think
Yeah.
that folks are going to be ready and prepared. Like I said, they're going to feel really confident that, listen, we're at the 6%. We've got to do that. If you can try to negotiate, some sort of buy down or concessions from the seller, that's wonderful if you're a buyer.
Yep. Yep.
But other than that, you're going to see a lot more folks in line, in homes, things of that nature. You're going to see a lot of bookings for showings and properties next year.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Kay's in Maryland. I thought you were in Maryland, but
Okay.
I didn't want to say for sure. So thank you, Kay. The problem with Portugal is that lots are small, no pools, bad parking, super old plumbing and appliances. But the houses are cheap.
Yeah.
So just saying. You seriously consider moving to Portugal but chose Florida instead. All right. I would still consider Portugal. For 260,000 euros or whatever he paid, sign me up. Alex says my monthly mortgage payment currently is around 4,200. I tried, but I cannot sell my house. Should I rent it for 2,500, 2,700 until the good movement starts? If you want, if that's going to be just enough to cover your expenses, but no, it's not. If your mortgage payment's 4,200, listen, if you can't sell your house, you need to look at your pricing. You got to see what's going on in the market, because that's the key. That's the number one reason why your house is not selling.
Yeah.
It's your price. So I would, Alex, reevaluate that. It'd be, listen, if you want to rent it, great, but just keep in mind when you bring on a tenant, they could damage your house. There could be challenges with that. And if you're not pulling in enough to cover the mortgage and the other expenses, may not be worth it. You know?
The other part is I want to know, Alex, how long have you owned it? Because I've had clients in situations to where they purchased 2 years ago in the height of the market, right? And now they're having to relocate to other places, which we're in the middle of doing so right now, many of them. And so they're going to be a little upside down, and it's just because they bought at that high time. So I'd like to know, when you purchased too.
Yep. That's a good point, Angie. Clark, why not rent some rooms out in your house while living there? I know it could be a little scary, just a thought. Yep. And some people are doing that. I've been reading that people are renting out rooms to help them make the mortgage payments.
They are. The other thing is you've got friends buying properties together because it's so expensive. So they're bringing down their costs by purchasing a home with like their bestie. That's a new wave of buyers. They're buying together.
Yep. Yeah. You won't get nothing for 260 in Portugal, maybe a condo. That's all I need.
Yeah, little
condos. Listen, condos here in Jersey are like 400.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. 400 and up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So anyway, what else I want to talk to you about, Angie?
Yeah.
So we're same old stuff. So do you think? I don't know. How quickly do you think the market's going to rebound, or like it's going to pick up once tomorrow passes?
Oh,
Like,
tomorrow. I'm sure y'all have already spoke about that. So that's been giving a lot of people anxiety, as you can imagine, right?
oh
Not
yeah, we mentioned
knowing.
that. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's happening
Yep.
too because they just don't know what the housing policy will be depending on who is elected. So that's
I
been
know.
creating a lot of just nervousness amongst folks and also
Yep.
paralyzing them in a way too. So those who are ready to make that move are just on pause, right, waiting for that. So I think once we get past the inauguration, right, and
Yep.
everything is solidified, which is what we have it in January.
Yep.
I think that when folks start putting their houses on the market in February, January, February, March is we're going to see, I think, more buyers out in the marketplace around that time
Yep.
because February gives people time to recover, y'all, from whoever is elected, right?
Yep. Yep.
And we should be back in a place where folks are focused on their own personal goals and the things that they're
Yes.
needing.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
agree. I agree with that. I was saying before that the spring market, the unofficial start of the spring market is right after the Super Bowl.
It is,
So I think, yeah, so come February, yeah,
yeah.
I think it's going to be like gangbusters.
And that's good for
Cl-
folks too. A little tip if you're thinking about selling, consider February. Really.
yes. Or even January.
Yeah,
You
because
put it on the, yeah,
it's
who
before
cares?
you see all of these homes pop up. So buyers are going to see your house first.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Less competition against other sellers. But then I also mentioned before that in the spring, everybody's out. Like not even like the not so serious buyers. Like we call them tire kickers. They just
Yeah,
want to come and look at the house and oh, I'm just nosy just
looky
to see what
loos.
Yeah, right. And nobody wants to deal with that. So that's what makes the spring market challenging.
Yeah.
Clark says I can't wait till tomorrow's passed and we can enjoy the holidays. I'm right there with you,
Right.
Clark. Right there.
That's true.
Portugal had amazing tax breaks for crypto capital gains for a while, but then they repealed them recently, becoming less friendly to digital nomads. So that's
Oh,
interesting. Who
yeah.
knew? How do you guys think the commercial real estate crash will affect residential markets? Not really sure. I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you think, Angie?
That's a very interesting question. Even though it's real estate, commercial is so it's almost disconnected from residential in many ways. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, overall, what I will tell you, just even in our area, and this is happening all over the country, where you have all these buildings that people plan to put tenants into, for companies, and
Yeah.
those companies have left or either abandoned their leases or whatever have you. So you have these empty spaces.
Mm.
Part of it is that I know some folks are trying to be creative with it, and they're creating condos out of those units, right, for multi housing, which I think is great. But in a lot of ways, I feel like we've overdone it. We've built too soon, too fast,
Mm-hmm.
overestimated. And at the same time, I don't know how much that affects the residential outside of the fact that some folks are considering creating those spaces and making them into condo living.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think it's a smart thing to do. I
Yeah,
mean, we need housing, so
we do.
Maddie B says you better have a good written agreement. If buying a house with your bestie, you may need to get out of the deal at an inconvenient time for you.
It's
Yeah,
true.
good point there. Yep. Rob says, Angie, is there still room for new construction in Austin proper, or is it maxed out? I'm old enough to remember when it was a college town.
Oh, Rob, I wish there was more room, but gentrification, I will say it, is still happening. So they're taking those old bungalows, those sweet little homes, and they're knocking down that old structure and they're putting in, listen to this, two homes on one lot. So there's new construction, but it's not
Wow.
like you think. You kind of lose your yard because there's an A unit and a B unit on one lot. So we're not seeing that the new construction in the sense of you still get a full plot of land, right, with a beautiful backyard and a new home. They're splitting it just to squeeze as much as they can into it. Also, the
Wow.
zoning rules are a whole hot mess in Austin. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there. So the only place you're going to be able to find a little bit of space with those new homes, you got to go outside the city. So I'm talking the city suburbs, like the city of Kyle and Leander, Cedar Park. Well, Cedar Park's almost done, but Hutto, places like that, you can still find new construction.
All right. Very cool. Thank you. My husband and I bought the house with my son as a co-buyer. He gives us a rent, third of the mortgage payment, which goes towards principal. See,
I
there you
like
go.
that. Okay.
Very good.
I like
Nice.
this setup.
Nice. Love it.
Mhm.
Love it. That was good. Good idea. I'm looking at Florida all the way from Port St. Lucie southwards down to the Keys. Do I need multiple agents specialized in each city like Fort Lauderdale, Miami? Yeah, you do.
You do.
Yes, you do. You have
Mhm.
to you got to get an agent that knows that local market.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Um, what else? Mike Rivera. Hey, Mike, thanks for being here. The American dream is dead. Unless you make 6+ figures, you will not be able to get a nice, if that isn't a fixer upper. Listen, he's not wrong. I
I
mean,
know.
it's the amount of money you have to make these days in order to afford like a $400,000 house.
It's
I don't know.
expensive.
Was it like, isn't it like 100, you have to make like
20?
130,000 or something like
Yeah,
that?
something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a
Unless
lot.
you're considering, the smaller towns, and it really depends on what your preference is. But if you're somebody like I'm originally from Louisiana, from a tiny town. My husband calls it East Texas. I refuse to call it that. but But if you're okay in a city that's a little bit smaller, absolutely, you can still find homes that are 100,000, 200,000. Even in West Texas, you can still find homes like that. But if you're not a person who wants to be out, in the middle of nowhere, then that
Yeah.
might not work. If you want to be, near civilization, that might be a problem. But some want that peace and quiet. So there's an opportunity, I think, in different cities across the nation that could afford you that. You're going to have to give up something, which is,
Yep.
amenities or things of that nature, being proximity to amenities.
Yep. Yep. That is true. Um, what else we got? It's even harder for small business owners because good luck getting a mortgage with less than 10% down and usually more like 20%.
Yeah.
Yep. I
And
know.
interest rates are higher.
Yep.
Mm.
FHA loans won't be approved for 1099 employees, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. After my son leaves, how does it work with a rent if my old friend will potentially come living with us? What is the best way for both of us when it comes to homeowners renters tax return? So if you're gonna have your friend move in and take over,
Mhm.
right? Am I reading this right?
I feel like
I
that's
would, yeah, I would just, you know what? I would just create like a lease agreement. Right? If their name's not on the mortgage, see, that's the other thing too. If is the son on the mortgage? If he's on the mortgage,
yeah,
yeah, I would create some type of lease agreement
that's what I would
with
do.
your friend. Yeah,
Mhm.
to pay, to establish what they're going to pay
And it's,
in
I
rent.
had actually had a similar one like this where the son, the dad bought this condo unit so his son could go to UT. And
Hmm.
he put his son's name, which is smart, on the deed of the property, and his dad paid the
Okay.
mortgage. So you could set something like that up. If your son and yourself and your husband or whomever is or wife are on the deed, they would be on the lease agreement. But I would set it up just you got to run that thing like a business. That's how you run your rental properties, like a business.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's your sister, brother, cousin. You've got to have something in writing that protects you and protects them. Um,
Absolutely.
so you
Absolutely.
got to do that.
Yep. American Dream no longer includes home ownership. Well, not the nice homes. Well,
I
I mean, I
know.
know, I
You're
know. It's unfortunate. It's
yeah,
really unfortunate. It really is. It's very sad.
they've
Um,
come up with different alternatives, like they have them all across the nation, but one here in Austin is like a little tiny home village, you know, where it's
they
affordable.
have them by you, a
They
tiny
do.
home village.
They do.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that
I
must look
talk about
adorable.
it is it's so cute. And the idea was to be able to create not only affordable housing, but a place where people really felt like they were a part of the community. So the way they have it structured is where they have these courtyards where you can sit on your front porch, things of that nature, and commune with your neighbors. So even though they have those, I know what you mean. Like the original American Dream includes a lot size, a nice lot size, right? So maybe some trees, maybe a white picket fence, and it's difficult to find that these days. It's almost unheard of in certain locations for sure.
Hmm.
Unfortunate.
Yep. I know. I know. I'm driving an old car this year because I don't want to buy a new car and mess up new home financing. Good. That's very
Yes, sir.
smart. Keep driving that old car.
Yes,
You
please.
want to, you want to hear a really funny story? So I was on the phone with the agent, the buyer's agent for the buyer that's buying my listing. We're closing next week, and her buyers are selling their place, and she says the buyers for her client's
Yeah.
home has gotten so out of control that the wife of this couple is just, they're being so difficult that she's threatening to go buy a new car so she
What?
won't have to get her mortgage.
What?
And she like literally said it out loud.
You
Like,
can't.
what
Please.
what the hell is
No.
wrong with you?
I don't.
Why would you say? I'm like, she's telling me the story. I go, wait. 3 times I asked her. She said she's threatening to buy a car.
Out loud.
So out loud. So she won't get the mortgage so she can get out of the deal.
Okay, no.
Are you kidding me? That's a first. I've never heard that. She's like, I kid you not. They've been so ridiculous. And I'm
Wow.
like, what? Why would you say that? Isn't that crazy? That's just beyond crazy.
Like
I thought it's the funniest thing.
Internal thoughts have come outward, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go buy. I'll show you. I'm gonna buy a car so I won't get a mortgage. Like, what the hell is that?
That's crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't know why she would do that.
Oh,
and just don't be buying. Don't be buying. Okay, listen, Linda. All right, don't be, or Larry. Don't buy appliances when you're under contract. Don't be buying cars. Do not be
no furniture.
No furniture. Don't do it. Yeah.
No. Oh my God.
Don't change jobs. I've had that happen where a client changed jobs 2 weeks before closing. Don't do that.
No, don't do that. No. Like, I know. You're like, you did what?
Yeah. Don't do it.
You bought a car? Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Son is on the mortgage as a co-buyer. Once he leaves, he will be able to relinquish himself from ownership, and a friend will live here long term. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, so your friend obviously can't go on the deed. So then have them just create a lease agreement and have them pay you.
Yep.
Yeah. Very simple. Lou says, is it wrong that a seller's disclosure was never sent to me after we had agreed on a contract offer? The inspection brought tons of issues and a disclosure could have steered me in another direction. Here's the thing about disclosures. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Be careful with disclosures because they're not always honest on them. Sellers may like, and I just, that couple I was telling you about that bought a house, that there was a decommissioned oil tank. We didn't know about it. They didn't put it on disclosure. How did we find out about it? We pulled the permits. We went to the town and requested all the permits, and it was discovered, oh, there's a decommissioned tank, but they didn't put it on a disclosure. Now, people think disclosures are the end all be all. It does give you some idea about the history of the property, but I will tell you, they're not all honest on. They're not.
Yeah.
They'll withhold information. If you're buying from a flipper, here's another thing you keep in mind. If you're buying from like a flipper investor, those seller disclosures, you're just going to put not unknown.
They live there
because they're not, because they don't know the history of the house. They just bought it and they're flipping it. So disclosures to me, I don't think they don't mean a hell of a lot. They don't.
It's a starting point for sure. Like here in Texas, they're built into our contracts, right? That has to be delivered. And if it's not, it's a buyer out, right? So even if they don't, you did the right thing. Even if they don't tell you the truth on those disclosures, or they forget something, sometimes they just forget what happened. Like, oh yeah, we did X, Y, and Z. It's good that you did your due diligence, which is your inspection period. Take advantage of that. I always tell folks, if it has a pool, get a pool inspector. You need all the inspectors and all the third eyes as possible when you're looking at a property to purchase, because you don't want to inherit something that's overwhelming, right? Where you're hundreds and thousands of dollars. So
absolutely. Yeah. So always get the home inspection. Do not rely on the disclosures.
No.
Lester says, when buying a multifamily in New Jersey, if there are tenants with leases living in the house and you want to live there, are they entitled to finish out their lease? Yes. If they have a lease, You got to let them finish it out. You can't go in and break it unless it's a month to month. Then you have to give them, I think, 60 or 90 days notice. But if there is an existing lease, it's a 1-year lease. You have to let them finish it out. It's so hard to work with the lenders, self-employed small business owners. Who should I talk to in Florida? Do me a favor. Could you fill out the form? Click the link. Just send, because this way I can get your message and I can find a lender for you down there. I'm not sure if my guy is licensed in Florida, but I can find out. Oh, you're the bestest. You're the bestest. You're the bestest for being here. I'm so glad you came. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen your comments on here. I appreciate you being back. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we have a couple of more comments I want to get through. Clark, in Georgia, it is required to get a seller's disclosure, but people do lie, and investors down here use a latent defect disclosure and check they know nothing about the property. Yeah. Yeah,
right.
It's so true. Do you want to know something? New Jersey, it just became law in August that sellers have to have a seller's disclosure.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
You didn't have to have a seller's disclosure. Like, now my company, Qualdo Banker, we cannot take a listing without one.
Gotcha.
We will not list a house unless you fill out the seller's disclosure. We're a lot of companies around here. Yeah, I mean, we go on MLS like, oh, no seller's disclosure.
Wow.
Now it's a law. Yep.
That's
Isn't that funny?
Fascinating. So we also have the seller's disclosure. We also upload the survey to the property, right?
Really? Oh, God.
Yeah. We have an affidavit that goes with it. Like, so Texas is pretty, I would say, what do you call it? Organized when it comes to that kind of stuff. We're pretty strict on certain things. So all that stuff is uploaded into our system. If we can get a hold of floor plans, that also has to be uploaded. We just upload everything. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Your seller's disclosure and your survey. Also, if you have a septic system, we have a document that needs to be filled out so that we can disclose all of that to a potential buyer. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, not here. We also have the lead paint disclosure too. Like that if a house is built before 1978, that has to be filled out too. But yeah, seller's disclosure. Yeah, no, not so much. Not until August of this year. But now it's a law. I know, it's so weird. But again, that's Jersey. Anyway, Jay says, I have no debt but zero credit score. Will be a first-time home buyer in New Jersey. What's the best approach to buying a home with 10% down and $200,000 budget? Well, the first thing you need to do, if you haven't spoken to a lender yet, talk to a lender. $200,000 in Jersey, you're going to be looking more South Jersey, like way south towards Philly and Pennsylvania. North Jersey, I hate to say it, you're not going to get anything for 200. It's even a condo, even a small apartment. It's just those prices aren't there. You have to go like way south, like almost to like the end of the state. So that needs to be nationwide with the seller's disclosure.
Yes,
I agree with you, Dan. I agree with you. But again, you got to be careful. They're not always honest about it. So
it's just a starting point.
Yeah, exactly. Black Eyed Sue, Lee Jack and Filthy found 2 months too late. Her thumbnails make me smile. Thank you so much. You know what? Thank you for saying that, because Angie, I got to tell you something. Somebody called me. I was on Karen Gardner's live stream last Wednesday, and somebody commented to Karen's live stream, oh, her guest is that girl Jackie, who I call Dr. Doom because of her thumbnails. Can you? Can you? I go, Dr. Doom, did you know that? I'm like doom and gloom. I'm doom and gloom girl. Like,
oh my word.
Really? Yeah, I am.
Have they
I'm doom. Yeah, exactly. So I responded. I got with the laughing emoji. I go, Dr. Doom, that's a great one. I like it. Like, the hell? What was that all about?
Funny. Yeah,
I know. I know. Anyway, but thank you, Sue. I appreciate that. That was very, very nice of you. Maddie says, how are sellers' disclosure filled out for probate trustee sales where the sellers don't know the defects? They put unknown.
They do.
That's what happens. I'm speaking from personal experience. When we sold my parents' house, they're deceased, and that's how we had to fill out our disclosure in New York, because we don't know. You don't know
Yeah.
that's so that's why it's important to do a home inspection.
It should, you have to do one. Spend the money.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I am busy working to be able to pay the mortgage for the house we just bought, but I enjoy watching your podcast because I can still learn about home ins and outs of ownership. Thank you so
That's
much. That means a lot. You have no idea. We have spent almost $1,000 between 2 home inspections. The sellers lied on the conditions of the house.
Mm,
And this is why it's important to have home inspections. So,
yeah.
just saying. OB327, thanks for being here. I also heard the interest rates are going to climb. Years and years of low interest have backfired on the Fed. Might also see 8 to 10% rates in the future. That I have not heard. I'm
Right.
still hearing it's going to be in the 6s until this time next year. End of 25, it's going to come down even more.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Honestly,
Who knows?
I actually thought, and many of the home buyers thought back in September, remember the Feds had changed the rates and they went lower. They did. They've gotten to the 5s. That was
Yeah.
very short, very short.
Yeah, it was like a nanosecond.
Yeah,
and
it
that
was.
yeah.
And then back
Yeah.
in the 6s again. So
It's
yeah,
like you blinked and, oh, we're back in the 6s again.
true, so true.
Yeah.
I don't know about 8s and 9s though. I feel like 6 is kind of the number for right now, at least.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Jay, you are so welcome. Safe areas would I recommend to buy a home in South Jersey. I'm not overly familiar with areas in South Jersey. However, I know a fabulous agent. She's been on the show before. Olga serves South Jersey. So Jay, drop me a line. Drop me click on the link and fill out the form, and I'll get you connected with Olga. She knows South Jersey very well. I like your podcast. I like Christine, a Smallhorn, and Cottrell. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Sean, what percentage do you estimate for closing costs on both buying and selling side? Maryland, if that matters. Yeah. So it depends. I mean, here in New Jersey, I think it's a little bit more. The closing costs, I can't give you a percentage, honestly, off the top of my head. But I know for selling, you're going to be paying your attorney. You're going to be paying any tax to the state, right? So you're going to have your real estate transfer tax. Jersey also has the exit tax.
Oh my goodness.
When you're selling, I know.
Okay.
Angie, where have you been? Jersey's like, I know.
It's a hello tax and a goodbye tax.
Hello, yeah, exactly. Yeah, welcome in here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Give us more taxes. I'm not sure. It's typically a percentage for buying. A lender's going to have the most accurate number, and sometimes it's, I don't know. Is it like a percent, like 1%? I don't know. How do you figure it? What do you say to that, Angie?
Yeah, in our area, I always tell people, look, just be thinking 2 to 3%. 3 is pretty high, but again, if you're in like New Jersey, that would make sense because you've got additional things that you have to pay. For us, it varies sometimes in communities because we have HOAs. You can't get away from them just about. So we have an HOA transfer fee. We have an HOA, I forgot it. Basically, they hold the money fee. That's what it is.
Oh my God,
so
really?
Thinking, 2 to 3%. Set that aside, and if it's less, then you're a winner, right?
Yeah. It's like you scored. Did you know, New Jersey and New York, we have a mansion tax too?
Oh,
if you buy a house that's $1 million or more, you pay 1%.
Are you guys in cahoots with California? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
Yep. It's insane. So you know what? So a little trick that I've heard. Now I haven't done this, but sometimes people will offer $999,999.
No, that's right.
But if the seller wants that $1 million price, they'll do something else on the back end so they get their $1 million. Like, but the actual contract price will be $999. So then they have to pay that mansion tax.
Are you guys do you disclose your home prices there?
What do you mean? Like while we're
like
while it's under contract, or
is it once you close, is it public how much you've closed on?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Oh,
We're a non-disclosure state. You do not have to tell anybody how much you paid for your house.
What? Even on Zillow? They wouldn't show it on Zillow
Nope.
there?
It's
Get
against the
out.
rules.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah, so we couldn't have, these mansion taxes that y'all have, and even in California as well. We can't have that here because number one,
Oh my God.
we don't disclose how much somebody has paid for their home. You don't want the county knowing how much you paid for your home. Your taxes will go
Holy
out of
cow.
control.
Oh my God. I can't believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh my
The only
God.
way somebody would know is if you told them how much you paid.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Or if you're
see,
fighting your taxes, that's the only time. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
my jersey sucks. But anyway, so sorry, I didn't say that. Anyway, Eric, gonna wrap this up. A couple more questions. I would like to buy a house in Philly for 169 using FHA. I don't have a lot saved towards down payment. Do you think 3K to 5K down is enough to get the house buying process started? It's possible, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Olga, who's been on my live stream, she also serves Philadelphia. I can get you connected with Olga. She knows that market very well. If you're not working with anybody, if you need to talk to a real estate agent, Olga's your girl because she really knows that. She knows South Jersey and Philly very, very well, so she can help you out with that.
And usually with FHA, just a heads up, typically the minimum is 3%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't go any
Yeah.
lower than
Thank
that.
you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. You have to do 3% on FHA. And the other thing with FHA, remember you have the private mortgage insurance.
Yeah, you do.
And that's for the life of the loan. So it's like if on a conventional loan, if you're putting less than 20% down, you have a PMI, but over time that goes away. I forget what the ratio is, but it's say like after like 8 to 10 years, whatever, that PMI will go away. But FHA, it's on for the life of loan. So I know we're probably giving him a lot of information, but so, sorry about that.
Write that down. You'll need it later.
I'm considering getting a real estate license, and I do some drone photography. I hear 80% of real estate agents fail, and you heard correct. They do, and they fail within the first like 5 years. And I will tell you, it's a hard business. But once you build your clientele and you get that business going, it's a wonderful thing. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Todd Couch, you should do a podcast with him. He goes on rants. It's awesome. I have to go watch him. Thank you. If he goes on rants like me, we'd get along very well. Can you explain 20% down and 90% financing? Don't know what you mean by that. 90% financing.
I'm not sure.
And 20% down. If you're putting 20% down, then 80% is being financed. I'm not really sure. Could you elaborate on that a little bit quickly? Eric, thank you so much for the super sticker.
Oh, that's
appreciate
awesome.
that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. That's wonderful. That helps me out a lot. Really appreciate it. I'm planning to rent out my single family house in New Jersey. Should I engage with a real estate agent to market my house and find the right tenant, or is there a different process to follow? Get with a real estate agent, because here in Jersey, the tenant pays the broker fee, number one. Number two, the real estate agent, we have systems set up with different brokerages. Like we use the system called NTN rental. So any tenant that's applying, like they have to fill out an application, and we use this NTN program, and it does a full background check. It checks their credit score. It checks everything. So that I highly recommend getting a real estate agent to do all that for you, because they'll vet your tenants. That's awesome. You want to make sure you get good tenants, for sure. So, last year 90%. Not sure what that's. I don't know what you mean by that, black-eyed. So I'm sorry. Okay. What else we got, Jen? Just a couple more. It's getting a little late.
Let's see.
Let's see. We got little conversations going on here. So let me see. Miami-Dade has a 100K first-time homebuyer program. I'm thinking about trying to qualify. Go for it.
That's cool.
Go for it. Get with a lender that's familiar with it.
Yep.
And they can help you with that. So Miss Angie, I'm so glad you made it on.
Thank
So
you for
good,
having me.
so good to have you here. I just love when you come on. You're so much
Oh,
fun.
you're so sweet, and
So
your community is awesome.
thank you. Aren't they though?
Mhm.
I love my people. So this is Angie's channel. If you want to check out what's going on, don't mind my little video there. She talks all about Austin, Texas. Please go check her out. Show her some love. Go watch her stuff, her content. It's amazing. Um, thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thanks, Jen. And then I just want to share with everybody, if you need a real estate agent in your area, please click on this link. This brings you to my website. Fill out the form and I will get back to you. And we can start that discussion to get you connected with a real estate agent in your area, whether you're buying or selling a home. Miss Angie, thank you again.
Thank you.
The pleasure. The pleasure. Anyway, everybody have a wonderful week. We're gonna take a breather. Tomorrow's gonna be a little stressful,
Yeah.
but this time next week we'll be past it and life will be going back to normal, hopefully. Anyway, all right, everybody have a wonderful week and I will see you all next Monday. Thanks for being here. Bye.